Years ago, I dreamed of earning in dollars, starting my own business, starting traveling, and maybe even finding the love of my life. But instead of that, I was stuck in one job. My mindset was so f***ed up that I was scared to write my own application because I was afraid that if somebody will find out that I cannot code, that my code is crappy, I will be taken as a fraud, fired, and I will never find any job again. And I will share with you 5 simple practical steps that helped me to turn my life around in these 5 areas. Thanks to this method, among others, I was able to earn as much, even though I'm not from USA, Switzerland, or any other country that pays the best for programmers. And now I teach others and I help other programmers to do it as well. More details in the link in the description. When I was younger, I was a slave of never-ending personal development. I was watching people like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Tim Ferriss, and planning everything carefully, writing everything down, journaling, and doing all of that stuff. The thing was that the more plans I was making, the more stuck I was becoming, because I was looking at those lists, mind maps, and other solutions that were supposed to help me, and I felt overwhelmed. I was thinking like, G6, there are so many things to do that I will never get rid of that. I will never be able to achieve anything because it is impossible. I was looking for different solutions like productivity apps, apps like ClickUp, Asana, and others. I was following different frameworks like the one in Getting Things Done, and nothing was helping me. Until something cracked within me and I decided that I'm getting rid of all of that. So step number 1 that I recommend you to try once you feel overwhelmed, once you are ambitious person, you have lots of plans and you know what to do, but something stops you from doing that, from taking action and executing the plan that you already wrote, is to simplify everything. Philosophically, it's called
Occam's razor.
In simple words, keep it simple, stupid. The thing that I did was getting rid of all the plans that I had, all of those overwhelming, complicated apps, and I took everything that I needed, which is one thing at a time, to a very simple app that is called Habitica, and it is like a simple list to do. As you can see on the screen, I am not even using all the columns. The only thing I use is this to-do list where I put everything that I need. And this is the key, to focus on one thing at a time. Forget about all the plans that you have, all the goals that you want to achieve, and focus on that one simple thing and nothing else. Okay, so I got rid of all of that non-relevant and non-important stuff, and there is one thing to do. The most important thing that I should focus on. One task, one simple task. But still, there was something within me keeping me away from doing what I know that I should do. There was like internal resistance, like in this meme, that was exactly me, and I didn't know what was that. Now, after years of studying, I know how it works underneath, and we will talk about it in the 4th step. But to get rid of that quickly, there is a simple technique that helped me a lot, which is baby stepping, baby steps. So let's say I have to record an episode, and even thinking about it makes me stressed out. I start thinking about negative comments, dislikes, that what I'm going to tell you will not make any sense to anyone, and all of that self-sabotaging thoughts. So what I do is lowering the bar or lowering the pressure. So instead of focusing on the task itself, I'm trying to find a simpler step that doesn't have any emotional load, any emotional value. For example, instead of thinking about recording the video that it will take me an hour to write a script, another hour to record it, and this already stressed me, I simply try to find something simpler and try to talk to myself and try to tell myself, okay, let's only open a computer, and once I have laptop open, then let's open a script. Once I have script open, then let's turn on camera and then let's do some kind of freestyle. Let's record a first phrase, let's record another phrase. okay, this phrase was not as good, so let's do it again. And I try to like baby step already simple tasks. If it was something different like going running, I would simply focus on, for example, putting on my shoes or leaving the apartment, and I would keep saying, okay, just 1 minute more, just 2 minutes more. For me, the hardest thing was to start, and this is how procrastination often works, that starting doing something, it's way more stressing and difficult than already doing this thing. Sometimes when I notice negative thinking going around my head, I even start to shut it down by saying one step at a time, one step at a time. Keep swimming, keep swimming. Like in a army. And now talking about the sabotaging voices, there is a very important, like an auxiliary tool or smaller step to take. Once you've done something that you were supposed to do, now it's a time to reward yourself. And I am not talking about ordering pizza and spending the rest of your day playing video games, but doing something for your self-esteem. It's not about flattering and something that will boost your ego, but imagine that you are a personal trainer. You are with a personal trainer at the gym, for example, doing some exercise for a first time. Those kind of people, for sure, once you do something correct, they would say something like, oh, well done, good job. And that's totally enough, because it is not about boosting your ego and flattering yourself, because that will lead you to a disaster. But it is very important for you to somehow reward yourself and for you to become your own friend that will support you in your journey. Okay, so we have our first task done, but there is another day, there is another task or another day and another challenges ahead of us.
You did it. You got through the night. You helped yourself make it through.
And sometimes we don't sleep enough, we had a bad day at work, we had plenty of problems, and we simply don't feel like doing something productive. We only feel about going to the store and buying a load of sweets and watching stupid videos on YouTube. So step number 3 is to try to focus on what not to do. Once I was talking about it to my friend, that with my girlfriend we were writing down on the wall, like basically straight lines signifying how many days of streak we have with basically living the way we wanted. So eating healthy, training, learning things, doing business and things like that. And I told him that after some time I realized that keeping a streak, it is not about focusing on what you have to do. It is about focusing on what you should not do and trying to prevent yourself from doing those stupid things. Some research say that our productivity during the day depends a lot on how we start the day. Once you snooze, once you are late to work, once you don't eat healthy, you don't go running, then you don't have energy, motivation, and basically a reason to do anything during entire day, because we tend to say to ourselves that once we f***ed up one of things, then everything is gone.
And it's gone.
And once your day is f***ed up, there is no way that you will rescue that, and basically everything is gone. But this is not the truth. It doesn't matter how you started, it doesn't matter what happened during the day, no matter how hard it will be, it is very important to get back on the right track. And those moments when you decide about whether you're gonna do something productive or stay in bed, these are called acts of discipline. And every single act of discipline basically builds your character.
You don't need guidance, Anakin. In time, you will learn to trust your feelings. Then you will be invincible.
So, whenever you are taking the right decision, it gives you like additional points that you will be able to invest, like using metaphor of some MMORPG. So imagine that you are a character, and once you take a good decision, then it gives you additional points of experience. Okay, so you simplified your lists, you are baby stepping every task, you are focusing on what not to do, but there is still something within you that holds you back from doing everything. And maybe you are even pushing and getting through those difficult moments, but it is not pleasant, it is not enjoyable because there is still some kind of resistance, some internal force that prevents you from at least enjoying what you should do. And this is the time for step number 4, which is basically learning more about emotions and how human brain works. Because these 3 steps, it's only tricking your brain. But in your best interest, it is to learn how to get your brain on your side the way that it will help you to achieve whatever you want. And first thing you gotta know it is that our brains are designed mostly to keep us alive, and that we are able to solve logical problems, build societies, constructions, invent things. These are only side effects. The main purpose of your brain is to keep you alive and to have children. And your brain will do everything in its power to keep you within your comfort zone, because this is something that is safe for you. Once some program in your brain works, you are alive, you are more or less in good health, at least you are not about to die soon, then your brain is happy with that. And the same mechanisms that keep you alive will prevent you from taking risks, getting out of your comfort zone and doing the things that you know that you should. One of the things that still hold me back a lot are traumas, as Dr. Gabor Mate says, which is not necessarily something of a big form like ultra traumatic. Sometimes small traumas in your life can cause not only things that happen, but things that didn't happen.
More confusing and more difficult to reckon with are what some people, including myself, call the small t trauma, which isn't the bad things that happened, but the good things that didn't happen that should have.
So for example, lack of support, or even lack of possibility to express yourself the way you want. Nowadays, all over YouTube, I see this phrase, live in the present, that the past and the future doesn't exist, the only thing we have is the present, and we should focus on living in the present, and this way we will form beautiful future and things like that. But not many people say that the past casts a shadow on our present, and this way somehow determine our decisions. That's why if you want to start living to the fullest, you have to come to terms with your past, and you have to learn how to get the brain on your side, how to start using these mechanisms to your advantage. This way we not only eliminate those internal resistances, but we also prepare ourselves for future growth. Because in the future, if you will want to step up, you will have to, for example, start public speaking, start vlogging, take bigger risks, negotiate your salaries, and there will be more and more things coming up to your head that will take you back, manifesting itself through sabotaging voices, through those kind of resistances, feeling uncomfort, stress, and things like that. So the sooner you will start to learn how to deal with it, the better for you. And step number 5, it is to keep getting back on the right track, because life is full of ups and downs, and it is inevitable that you will lose a streak, you will do something that you are not supposed to, you will waste a day or even a week or a month, but you have to know that it is completely fine. And in these moments you should not again sabotage yourself and keep saying like, oh my gosh, I will never change my life, I'm so stupid, because it doesn't mean that you failed. Because everyone makes mistakes, and only the people that don't do anything don't do them. What is the most important? It is that if you are able to accomplish one thing, if you are able to start changing your life, if you kept that strict for some time, it means that you can do it again, and that's it. So in these moments, start to not blame yourself, especially that it is not your fault, because this is a human thing to sometimes have a bad day, because this is the human thing. And the worst thing you can do it is to punish yourself and do your things even worse and try to prove yourself that you're a piece of shit, because it is not true. it is not even your fault that you procrastinate, that you are afraid of changes. This is mostly the burden that we carry from childhood and adolescence, sometimes from generation to generation, as epigenetics and geneo-psychology say. And this is basically not your fault. But if you want to change something in your life, if you want to start living the way you want, then it is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to change that. So whenever you screw up, don't punish yourself, just accept it and say, okay, nothing happens. I was able to do it once in the past, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I will be able to do it again, and that's it.